Okay, big video ahead, so let's get right into it. In my previous videos, I showed needle fidgeting being primarily done in the air. This tech, however, also works on the ground, allowing you to cancel needle charging into neutral. This requires the same input of aerial needle fidgeting, where you must slightly tap the shield when charging needles, similarly to light shielding in Melee. In conjunction with aerial B-reverse needle charging, this can allow for some useful feints. Jumping into your opponent and then B-reversing away can be good for mixing up your movement. Because of the possibility of grounded needle fidgeting, you can land after the B-reverse with no lag at all. This can also be done after a backflip, by B-reversing towards the direction of your movement rather than away, to land you facing your opponent. Plus it allows you to get creative. Grounded needle fidgeting goes much deeper than this, however. Before I go further, all the research done on the following tech is the work of TronFox64, YGK, Jaxus, and Mosselwith, particularly TronFox64 for the discovery. A ton of work went into refining what makes this tech work, so serious props to them for that. If while dashing you let go of the control stick for a brief moment, charge needles, and then fidget to cancel the animation, Sheik returns to neutral out of a dash much quicker than simply waiting for the dash animation to end. Since you can needle fidget into any normal by buffering an attack during the fidgeting animation on the ground, and since you can go from a dash almost instantly into needle charging, this makes it possible to go directly from a dash into a normal. For the demonstration, I will be using a specific button layout. L or R, whatever your least dominant shield trigger is, should be set to specials, and your C stick should be set to tilts rather than smashes. I believe this to be the optimal layout for Sheik, and will recommend any Sheik mains to switch to it. The inputs for this tech are as follows: dash, let go of the control stick for a split second, hold neutral special, input attack, and fidget, which is cancelling needle charging. There's a reason why the attack must be input before the fidget, which I'll get into momentarily. This tech actually has two variations, regular needle cancelling and instant needle cancelling. What distinguishes the two is a very slight but vital input. There is a very small 1 to 2 frame input window during the initial needle charging startup animation that will cancel into shield immediately if shield is pressed during this window. If shield is pressed after this window, Sheik will have to return to neutral before being able to shield. This 1 to 2 frame window is what defines an instant needle cancel, while a regular needle cancel is defined by shield being pressed after that window. The only difference between the two is that instant needle cancelling is fast, which is all the difference really. On all previous needle fidgeting tech, however, the animation that occurs while the needle charging returns to neutral is what allows special moves, and normal moves here, to be buffered to come out as early as possible. Since instant needle cancelling has no such animation due to being instant, we need to buff the normal before the fidget, rather than after. Since the game still retains the memory of the normal input long enough before the cancel, the normal can still be buffered. Entering the normal before rather than after also allows for the regular needle cancel to occur, so if you stuff up the instant one, you'll at least get the normal. Phew, well, enough technicalities, let's get into what makes this tech so good. The real kicker with this tech is that you can go directly from a dash into any move. The most notable moves to cancel into are normals, however, as they are what allow for most strings and confirms. This can be done into stuff like down tilt, forward tilt, jab. You can even reverse stuff for mix-ups. Cancelling into normals can also be done out of a dash dance. Running off ledges and then B-reversing can allow for the same effect, just after landing. Remember, this isn't needle gliding, but rather just running off the ledge and then just B-reversing the needle charge. Those are the current main applications of this tech, but wait, there's more. While slightly unrelated but undoubtedly useful, this next section will cover wave bouncing needle charging. Discovered by the Reflex Wonder, whose video as you can see here, Sheik has the ability to slide backwards while still facing her current direction. This is achieved by dashing and holding the dash, and pressing neutral special and reverse C stick relative to your direction at the exact same time, and then fidgeting to cancel the needle charge. The neutral special and reverse C stick input is tough. You have 2 frames to input the combination, which is difficult initially, but becomes easier with practice. In order to pull off this tech, one of your shoulder buttons needs to be set to special, as pressing B while also pressing back on the C stick is impossible. This tech can also be done in the air. Here are some applications of the tech. Dash back, bouncing fish, making a reed, dash back, shield a move, punish, dash back, avoid a move, punish, reverse momentum, forward facing needle, edge guard, punishing rolls, punishing dash attacks, covering the ledge while recovering high, and releasing needles instead of just returning to neutral. Needless to say, this has great spacing potential and should serve to upgrade Sheik's movement options even further. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video and the tech. If there's anything I haven't explained too well, just post questions below and I'll do my best to answer them. If it turns out I didn't do a very good job, I'll do a follow-up video in response. If you want to see my previous video on needle fidgeting, just click the annotation provided. And if you want to see some cool perfect pivot combo stuff with Sheik, follow the link to 4G Gaming's channel.